whispered and unintelligible reading video, and it's been a long time. I think a year or more since the last one. So I made sure to grow my book collection for you guys. And I just went ahead and picked some of the ones I'm most interested in reading to you guys today. But first of all, we're gonna go ahead and pick every single one of my books up and transfer them to the bookshelf downstairs. So we're storing all of these. Oh, is it already full? Oh no. I'm so sad. So we literally can't just fill this with books. Okay. We need to buy another house, guys. We need probably another house so we can get more books. Okay, well. Now we can... Look how pretty it is, though. I love it. What are they saying? We can't fit more. There's literally some books that are leaning against each other. We could literally just push it, shove it in. Depending how long I take to read these, we'll see how many books we can get through. But I'm excited for this one. The Book of Daedra. If I pronounce any names wrong, I'm sorry. Azura, whose sphere is dusk and dawn, the magic in between realms of twilight, known as Moonshadow, Mother of the Rose, and Queen of the Night Sky. Boathaya, or Bothaya, whose sphere is deceit and conspiracy, and the secret plots of murder, assassination, treason, and unlawful overthrow of authority. Clavicus Vile, whose sphere is the granting of power and wishes through ritual invocations and pact. Hermaeus Mora, whose sphere is scrying of the tides of fate, of the past and future, as read in the stars and heavens, and in whose dominion are the treasures of knowledge and memory. Her sign, or her scene, whose sphere is the hunt, the sport of Daedra, the great game, the chase, known as the huntsman and the father of man-beasts. Malakath, whose sphere is the patronage of the spurned and ostracized, the keeper of the sworn oath and the bloody curse. Mehrunes Dagon, or Mehrunes Dagon, whose sphere is destruction, change, revolution, energy, and ambition. Mephala, whose sphere is obscured to mortals, known by the names web spinner, spinner, and spider, whose only consistent theme seems to be interference in the affairs of mortals for her amusement. Meridia, whose sphere is obscured to mortals, who is associated with the energies of living things. Molag Bal, whose sphere is the domination and enslavement of mortals, whose desire is to harvest the souls of mortals and to bring mortal souls within his sway by spreading seeds of strife and discord in the mortal realms. Namira, whose sphere is the ancient darkness, known as the spirit Daedra, ruler of sundry dark and shadowy spirits, associated with spiders, insects, slugs, and other repulsive creatures which inspire mortals with an instinctive revulsion. Nocturnal, whose sphere is the night and darkness, who is known as the Night Mistress. I have no idea how to read this one. Perfite or Periet. I can't tell if that's a V or a Y. I think it's a Y. Periet, Periite. Whose sphere is the ordering of the lowest orders of oblivion, known as the Taskmaster. Sanguine, whose sphere is hedonistic revelry and debauchery and passionate indulgences of darker natures. Sheogorath, whose sphere is madness and whose motives are unknowable. Vernima, whose sphere is the realm of dreams and nightmares, and from whose realm issues forth evil omens. Again, I'm so sorry if I read some of them wrong. Also, the lettering of the first letter of each Daedra, some of them were hard. Anyways, especially marked for special interest under the heading Malakath, you find a reference to Scourge, blessed by Malakath and dedicated to the use of mortals. In short, the reference suggests that any Daedra attempting to invoke the weapon's powers will be expelled into the void streams of oblivion. Of the legendary artifacts of the Daedra, many are well known, like Azura's Star and Sheogorath's Wabajak. Others are less well known, like Scourge, Makin's Hammer, Bane of Daedra. Yet though Malakath blessed Scourge to be potent against his Daedra kin, he thought not that it should fall into Daedric hands, than to serve as a tool for private war among caitiff and forsaken. Thus did Malakath curse the device such that should any dark kin seek to invoke its powers, that a void should open and swallow that Daedra, and purge him into oblivion's void streams, from thence to pathfind back to the real and unreal worlds in the full order of time. This was a pretty good book. I learned a lot. Kind of. I couldn't pronounce their names. Next, The Pig Children. The Pig Children by Tyston Bain. No one, not the oldest dark elf of Mount Dagoth or the ancient sage of solitude himself, can recall a time when the orc did not ravage our fair Tamriel. Whatever foul and pestilent Daedra of oblivion conjured them up could scarcely have created a more constant threat to the well-being of the civilized races of Tamriel than the obnoxious orc. Orcs are thankfully easy to recognize from other humanoids by their size, commonly 40 burtons in height and 15,000 angates in weight. Their brutal pig-like features and their stench. They are consistently belligerent, morally grotesque, intellectually moronic, and unclean. By all rights, the civilized races of Tamriel should have been able to purge the land of their blight eras ago, but their ferocity, animal cunning, and curious tribal loyalty have made them inevitable as leeches in a stagnant pool. Tales of orcish barbarity precede written record. When Jastiago wrote of the Order of Diagnus joining the armies of Daggerfall and Sentinel, to hold at bay the wicked orcs in their foul Orsinium fastness, and burn aught in cleansing flame in 1E950. She assumed that any reader would be aware of the savagery of the orcs, When the siege was completed 30 years later, after the death of many heroes including Gaiden Shinji, and the destruction of Orsinium scattered the Orcish survivors throughout the Rothgarian mountains. She further wrote, "The free peoples rejoiced, for that their ancient fell enemy was dispersed into diverse parts." Obviously, the orcs had been terrorizing the region of the Iliac Bay at least since the early years of the First Era. Well, maybe that was First Era 950. Okay, so the pig children are orcs. Interesting. We have it right here, so we're gonna go ahead and read this too. The Nightingales, Fact or Fiction by Wilhelmina Roth. Mention the nightingale to any thief worth his salt, and he'll laugh in your face. He'll tell you that the supposed avengers of the Daedric Lord Nocturnal are nothing but fictional characters who live nowhere else but within tales designed to scare young footpads into doing what they're told. But are they fictional, or simply misunderstood? While it's true that most scholars would scoff at the notion of a holy sect appearing within the normally unethical and unorganized rabble that is the Thieves' Guild, evidence suggests that such a group existed at one time within the borders of Skyrim. 120 years before the publication of this tome, a corpse was discovered wearing a strange suit of armor that was described as forged midnight. The tattered armor bore a crest of some sort, the symbol of a bird embracing a circle of undetailed blackness. The remains in the armor was taken to the College of Winterhold for study, but mysteriously vanished only a day after it arrived. The crest from this armor was circulated around Skyrim for years, but identification proved almost impossible. Then the most unlikely of sources, a prisoner incarcerated within the mines of Markarth, claimed that it was the mark of a group of thieves who called themselves the Nightingales. When pressed for more information, the prisoner claimed that the Nightingales were warriors of Nocturnal and performed her bidding without question. He claimed his source was someone he knew within the Thieves' Guild of Skyrim, but he refused to identify them by name, so his story was quickly dismissed. The second piece of evidence pointing to the existence of the Nightingales exists to this day just outside of Riften. Discovered at the terminus of a short pathway off of the main road stands a stone of unidentified blackened material. Carved into its face is the same avian symbol previously found on the dark suit of armor. To those that subscribed to the existence of the Nightingales, this was thought to be some sort of a meeting place. To others, the symbol was once again dismissed as a hoax or simply a diversion created by the Thieves' Guild. The final and most controversial sample of evidence is a passage found scrawled on the inside of a cell wall in Whiterun. The cell had previously been occupied by a Dunmer named Lorthus, was incarcerated for murder, and was set for execution. After the deed was performed and Lorthus's cell was examined, the following was found etched into one of the stone blocks. "Take my hand, Lady Nocturnal, for it's my will to serve you. As a nightingale, I'm born anew. Let my past echo our triumph." This is the first and only time that a solid connection between Nocturnal and the Nightingale has been made. The unusual nature of the passage, the religious connotations towards Nocturnal made by a career criminal, kept discussions lively for years regarding the possibility of this group actually existing. Sadly, since not a single piece of evidence beyond this has surfaced to date, this exciting discovery faded into obscurity, and the debate subsided. With these scant samples of evidence, conclusions are difficult to formulate. All we're left with are more questions than answers. Can religion and thievery coexist? Does the Daedric Lord Nocturnal have active agents roaming Skyrim with a no doubt nefarious purpose? Does the Thieves' Guild have extensive knowledge of the Nightingales, but remain sworn to secrecy? Perhaps one day the answers to these questions will be revealed, but at present it falls to you, the reader, to decide whether the Nightingales are fact or merely fiction. I guess I'm gonna be joining the Thieves Guild. Maybe I'll get recruited into the Nightingales. I wonder if that's a whole thing, the Nightingales. That'd be fun. Killing Before You're Killed by Eduardo Corvus. I've seen many a man rush headlong into battle, only to have their life cut short in an instant. I've been a trainer of the warrior arts for many spans, cut from the cloth of a great lineage of knights, blades, and even a distant sellsword or two. It's with this knowledge that I'll try to pen a brief treatise. What is that word? It's with this knowledge that I'll try to pen a brief treatise on the subtle art of war. Not mage fire, not archery or criminal throat-slitting, but war, man on man with nothing but a fine bit of steel between them. The first thing you'll need to learn is how to block. The best way not to get killed is to not let the other man hit you. Use a shield. Use it well. Now, you'll get tired from this. You may even get a little hurt, but a blocked blow is much better than a landed one. Over time, you'll get better, eventually shrugging off even the mightiest of hits. But beware, your foes, if they're not base cur bandits, will know how to counter you. They'll hit you with everything they've got in order to open you up and keep on hitting. So watch for these powerful attacks. While it's still better to absorb the impact with a 1/4 inch of steel, it's best to try to just step out of the way. Remember, against spells, your blocking is useless until you're trained. So get up on mages quickly and let them eat steel. That's a really good line, no matter where I read it in. Deserves them right for using a witch weapon. You can also block without a shield as well. Just cross that blow with your sword, though this isn't nearly as effective. And if you decide you're fancy and want to wield 2 blades, you can't block at all, so don't even try. Without both hands on the hilt, you just won't have the strength to counter blows. But with a weapon in each hand, you are much more likely to take your opponent down quickly. The best defense, some say. To wield the blade, there are some fundamentals. Quick strikes are always good, but can be repelled, so watch for your opponent's own defensive postures. Wait for an opening or create one with your own heavy attacks. Hammers hit hardest, but are slow. Same with maces and all blunt weaponry. Axes are a nice middle ground, while swords are the quickest, but won't stagger your opponent as efficiently with the hard hits. Keep an eye not to get too exhausted. Always try to save a little of your strength to counter blows, or even run. Keep moving during a fight. Never let yourself get cornered or surrounded. Pick your threats. Weak spellcasters that can hurt you quick are the first things I fell. The shield is not only a defensive tool. Put your shoulder into it and bash your opponent. This sends them flying and opens them up for quick counter-assaults. Even better, put extra weight into it and power bash your opponent. If they're small, this will put them on their knees. Bigger opponents cannot be staggered by heavy attacks. Only the power bash will really knock them around and create openings for you to exploit. So again, block, counter, bash. Hit them when they're down. They'll show no mercy, so why should you? Battle is about the offense, about catching your foe early and never relenting. Keep moving, keep swinging. If you consider yourself overly powerful, pick up a two-handed weapon and see your foes fall before you like wheat stalks. They're slow and unwieldy, but they shatter bones and cleave flesh better than anything. The graves are filled with many a mediocre swordsman. If you don't have the stomach for war, try a monk's work. But if you do travel the path of the warrior, learn the basics and keep your head firmly planted on your shoulders, or someone's bound to lop it off. Okay, that was a fun read. Very violent though. Very a violent book. Ooh, I kinda wanna read Darkest Darkness, but we'll save that for next time. I'm moving on to our Unintelligible Whispers, and I'm going to be reading stuff like this where it's like catalog of armor enchantments. So, yeah. Complete catalog and stuff. What's in this? just read one about warriors, like melee users, and this one is about clothes. Or enchantments on clothes or armor. Very interesting, very interesting. Next is Frontier Conquest. Frontier Conquest. Historians of the distant straightforward process of the tricks of the North's convincing its decade. Visitors talk about delicate stone discount with the step that the stick of the so-called genetic physical liberty stuck on the step that's the cut step up with bright stick couch stone the vanished double step. Strictly speaking, the North's religion of the distinct and of the failed but it's typical. The toast Exmores the first of the United States, the second states. Exmores the wicked stomach and stimulus subsidiary step preference to capitalist. Malcontent tester blood list open the decks to go down. Malcontent tester did stop the decks to the world of them. You can stop the next stop. I'll consider the petty gets to get with the stick. It is simply that what gets right and actual historical gets to go. The needing people send a bit of the stand but a left stand stand rock cover it's not the boss that ditch that the letting of stop people flourished and expanded over the let the truth gets still but then stop. Perhaps being close to notable the notes did not really test of the note with the scout of that neither really nor the kind of but the first that burned over straight instead of scouts centralized kingdom. Whatever did this to go to this gun go to this to what it is to between the better down to this to what it against to this relatively clear. But beyond the sort of conflict the other duplicants get after that stuff down. The Lord of Ested and Butler entered our goes to the Fenrir that's to go over it is deep the North's find it was between the stick but it's to the green. The ramble the turn steps and the one step the bird is repeated. The one son that the red sit but a cock. The idea of the stone rock and the strong drum the let's dance in the gun. The result of the storm the none of the stick the dance that the humans. Okay. Not really sure if I got all that, but it's the history of Tamriel. Alright, Frontier Conquest. Last one I'm gonna do for the Unintelligible is the Nords of Skyrim. This one's interesting, it doesn't have an author. The Nords of Skyrim. The Nords come, but people believe it is but it's not underwater the note. But mountain the Nord border race the land of Scott. Right this fall in the dust of the rest of come to but the turban that's the border police we cut to the big country conquest to go. So we're double turned with his clean and still it's still standard strong with the guts to go but against or braided that it gets to go but against its generation of it we races in this game. There's a lot of racism and prejudice. But based on this, whoever wrote this is very proud of their Nord upbringing. But yeah, that is the last book we will be reading today. Let me know if there's a style of reading you guys prefer next time, like more unintelligible, more soft whispers, or if you want me to do more soft spoken, or if this is fine and you just want me to keep mixing it up in the video. It's been such a long time since the last Skyrim reading video, so this was very long overdue. Again, I apologize if I mispronounced anything, but I hope you guys enjoyed. I definitely did. I learned a lot. With that said, I'll see you guys in the next one.